Good evening. My name is Ken Sobon, and I'm going to show you some of the procedure today for setting up the nets. My wife is filming, so that's why I'm not wearing a mask today, so we get to be, normal. So right now we're going to be walking down to the nets, and if you can see, we've got a trail. The nets are down in the trees there, so we're going to walk down and set up the nets.
Go ahead.
So we're setting up a series of nets. We have 4 nets up here at the station. We lay these 4 nets out, and then if you see over here, you can see there is a collar, and that's a little speaker system that plays the call of a male Northern Saw-whet owl. And that collar brings the owls in, and it'll bring them to the nets, and then we'll retrieve them from the nets and bring them up to process them. So when we set up the nets, what I do is, the nets are kind of particular in the way that we set them up, but you always have to make sure that this is on one side and this loop is on the other side. So what I do is I put half the net in the pole, half the net over the pole, I untie the bag, and then now I'm going to start unstretching it here. And then the net is going to go this direction. So I'm going to have the net's going to come in the bag, and if you can see, it's a real fine net. I'll put it in a low light here. You can see it's a real fine net. So I'm going to unstretch the net, shake it here. You can follow me. And then this is the other side here of the net. So I grab the pole for the other side. I put the pole in, the rebar that's already there. Tie the bag at the bottom. And then this net here, you can see, if you come a little closer, you can actually, I'll put a lot of light on so you can really see. You can see it's a real fine net. So I will open the net, and then I'll use a pole, or a stick rather, to push the net all the way up. Now it's a little early, so I'm not going to open up the net completely. I'll show you how the net goes up a little bit later. And that's how we hang up the net. So this is our banding table, and here's some of the equipment that we use. We can see here is the banding pliers. That closes the bands on their legs. Here's a gauge for measuring the size of the leg. A black light, and that's for illuminating the underside of the wing, which we'll talk about, and you'll see some pictures of it later. A gauge or a ruler, basically for measuring the length of the wing cord. A scale for weighing it, and that's really about it, about the tools that we have. Here are the bands that we put on their legs. You can see a little slit, and that slit is how it opens up to be removed from the string. On there you can also see some numbers on those bands, and those numbers are a unique number that when you report that number to the USGS, they can tell you where that bird was banded, how old it was, and what year it was banded. So now that it's dark, you can really see the pockets that the bird will fall into. And you can also hear our collar. So up here in a distance, you can see the collar. That's playing the call for a male Northern Saw-whet owl. And that lures the owls into these nets. Okay, so I've got an owl in the bag here. So I'm going to feel through the bag, just if I can see which way he's facing. It looks like so he's facing this way. His eyes are looking, and that's where his bill is. So I'm going to come in behind him and then hold him in what we call is a bander's grip. So I'm holding the wings down, and I'm going to slide him out, and there he is right there. So, sweet little guy. This is a Northern Saw-whet owl. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a band on his leg. So I'm going to hold its leg out. I've already got the band in the pliers. So kind of hold it with these my pinkies. And then I just close a little bit. And I roll it so we don't get feathers stuck in there. And then I open it up. You can see a few feathers in here. So then I just roll it through here. Then I'm going to come at it one more time at a different angle with the pliers and close it up completely. Okay, so now it's closed completely. So the next thing I'm going to do, yep, it looks good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get its wing cord. So I'm going to get the measurement of the wing from basically the wrist to the tip of the wing. I have a mosquito here. So I put the gauge underneath the wing, and I elevate it and I lift it up, tuck it here. I lift it up so it's not laying flat. I want to keep a natural curve. So it looks like it's about 140. Okay. So the wing cord is 140. I look at its tail, and it looks like there are 3 bars of feathers on the tail. So 3 tail bars. And then I'll look and see the age of the feathers. And this looks like it's a hatch year to me, that they're all the same color and same age. Well, these could be fresh. So what I'll do is I will look with a black light, and sometimes it's a little bit harder, so I'm going to protect its eyes so it can't, doesn't damage it, but I'm going to look. Yeah, and the feathers are all the same color, so it's a hatchier bird. So I was right. And there's the color underneath the wing. It's called porphyrin. It's a chemical in the wing that will kind of oxidize and age. So he's a hatchier because his feathers are all the same age. It was a little bit hard to tell here and here. These look really fresh, but looks like it's a hatchier. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh him. Put him in the cup here. The scale is zeroed out. I tuck its wings in here. I'm going to hold its legs just to keep them calm. And 82.9. So it's kind of light. The range is from about 70 to like 105. 75 to 105. And if you can zoom in on his face, you can kind of see, especially if I don't put quite so much light in there. Beautiful colors. And they're a magnificent creature. The Northern Saw-whet Owl. Sometimes when they're really agitated, we'll pet them, and that'll kind of calm them down. But you can see he's not stressed out. He's pretty calm, just letting us do what we need to do. So this is a Northern Saw-whet Owl. Okay.